So IR35 is a piece of tax legislation that has been designed by the government to prevent disguised employment. So this may be where an individual is operating via a personal services company and operating in all ways that would be associated with an employee, but because of the way that they have set themselves up as a business, they're able to take earnings via a dividend rather than paying full tax and national insurance contributions. Now, the rollout of this to private sector organisations in 2020 mean that organisations, those private sector organisations, are now actually going to be accountable for assessing whether those individuals are inside or outside of the scope of IR35. So ultimately they'll have to think about how that might impact their workforce as a whole. So a private sector organisation is going to need to consider all of their existing working practices in relation to contracted resource. So how they are attracting those individuals, how they engage. The failure of assessing all of those things in relation to the changes in the legislation could result in some quite significant fines, not least potentially reputational damage through negative press and media attention. So private sector organisations are going to need to assess their strategy in order to prevent issues arising and how they engage and attract talent in the future. Come 2020, contracted resource may feel like they're not gaining the same benefits from operating, and therefore organisations are going to need to seek alternative routes to ensure that they are attracting, retaining and engaging with the right talent and skills. So Capita can help because there's nobody who has as much experience in this area as we do. We took 120 public sector organisations through these changes to the IR35 legislation. We helped 7,000 contractors become compliant within those organisations, and we've got a dedicated team of experienced SMEs who can support organisations to look at their people strategy and really understand moving forwards what engagement methods, what worker types they will need to engage with to fulfil their resource needs of the future.